Hey y'all, peace, great day. Put your winners V up, put your victory pose up. Victoria I. Phoenix here, Victoria Brackens here, founder of Trauma Training University, leading ACE, Escape Strategist. ACE stands for Adverse Childhood Experience. And welcome to tonight's edition of Playing ACES, okay? Helping you to prevent as well as overcome adverse childhood experiences. I'm here now live in Tacoma, Washington. Today has been an amazing day. Been training some soldiers, some special forces airborne at the Joint Base McCourt, Joint Base Lewis McCourt, JBLM, okay, in Tacoma, Washington. And so it's very apropos that tonight's session be ACES Take You Places, okay? There's a quote in my book, Play Your Ace Before It Plays You, How You Use Social Trauma for Empowerment Rather Than Imprisonment. And I say, I can't even hold the book up today because I only brought a few with me because I flew instead of, you can't really drive here, but a lot of trainings I go through, I might drive or have somebody drive me. But because I had a few books, I sold them, and then it's amazing that I just brought those just for to refer to, but somebody bought them. But nevertheless, the military, the government paid for the people that I trained, paid for their books ahead of time for everybody in the union. And so that's just something God has blessed me and shown me that what I used to try to do when I was just selling books individually, I go and set up somewhere and do signings. God said, I'm going to take you to a place where the books you sell in a day, you're going to sell them like in a minute because you're going to add them. And I didn't know then, but he meant that he was going to add them to contracts that companies would pay for their entire team's books ahead of time. And of course, he gave me that, or for the first time, and I thought it was just for that one time, prophetically one time when I went to train these people in Waycross, Georgia. And I was just, by the Spirit, I was just prophesying when I was in my hotel saying, oh, we're going to get a book for everybody. And I was just talking, everything I said out of my mouth. I met a guy on the road coming back, and I was just saying things that night in the hotel before I did the training the next day. And it was as the Spirit was leading. And I was just playing roles. I was playing both roles, or I was playing the role of the buyer. And I had a person say, oh, as a matter of fact, let me get one for me. I'm going to get one for my sister, one for my wife. And I met a guy the next day who did the same thing. And at the next day at the training that I came to train this women's shelter and kind of organization that was tied to them, the boss said, we want to just write you a check for a book for everybody. But nevertheless, God has shown me recently. I've been at JBLM today, Joint Base Lewis McCourt. It's a military base, special operations unit. Today I was training them. And I'm just so grateful for what God has given me. And I think about yesterday, I think it was, I saw a post on Facebook, and it's relevant to what I'm talking about tonight. I'm not going to be on here long. I'm in another time zone. It's 10:16 instead of 9:30 because I was out somewhere eating, and then I realized that I actually am supposed to be going live in about 15 minutes. And I was actually done, but I still had to wrap up my ticket and walk back to my hotel in Tacoma, Washington. And so I'm in Tacoma, Washington, which is Pacific time on the East Coast, Northeast. I'm in Washington State, and so we're 3 hours. It's 3 hours behind Eastern time where I live and where I usually do the 9:30 p.m. Eastern live. But nevertheless, the post that I saw yesterday, somebody put up a post. I can't remember who it was. I don't think it's anybody that I really know, but somebody that's in my loop that I saw on my feed. And it may be somebody I know. I apologize if it's somebody that I really know. But they said this. They said when God, or it might even be earlier today, while I was doing some things during some breaks or something, or had the people I was training doing an activity. But the post said this. When God, I can't say it verbatim, but I don't know if God leads you or if God calls you to bring awareness to something specific or to a certain issue or topic or whatever. Don't be afraid because God's got you. Okay. So again, I'm just going to give you the gist of it because I don't know exactly what it was verbatim, but the post said, when God gives you the assignment or the calling or leads you to bring awareness to something, don't be afraid because He has you. God's got you, right? So a lot of people I get a lot of positive feedback now, but there are still people who hate the fact that I talk about ACEs, about adverse childhood experiences. There are people, hired people who want to be snooty and act like they got it all together. And I know that there are ACEs at play in their lives. People in high positions who think they have it all together. They don't want me to talk about ACEs because first thing is they don't want it to be uncovered that they have ACEs. They want to try to make things like, you know, they've always been, that they come from a silver spoon in your mouth type family, when in reality they came from dark places. And that's not a bad thing, because I'm a living testament that ACEs take you places. Make sure they're good ones. I told you that's a quote from my book, Play Your Ace Before It Plays You. ACEs take you places. Make sure they're good places, okay? They can bring you from a dark place, but get out of there and take you and empower you to help somebody, because your story, the fact that you made it through, the fact that you made it out, is not just for you, it's for somebody else. Another quote from my book, that same book, Play Your Ace, says, I saw it for a reason to use it for a season. And so ACEs take you places. Today I'm here at a military base, or in Tacoma, Washington. I was earlier today training at a military base. They flew me out. They paid me well. They have me doing another training coming up. And it's Special Operations Airborne. And I've done special operations, last month, or a month or so ago. And then I've been doing other military bases, school systems. ACEs take you places. Make sure they're good ones, okay? God gives us a gift to gives us gifts to give to the world. Sometimes that gift comes from a dark place you were in. It comes from a place where you were that tried to break you, that tried to tear you up. But in reality, actually, by the grace of God, you became stronger. You actually saw it for a reason to use it in the season. So you have power over it now, and you have power to empower other people with that power. And so, again, the post that somebody put up yesterday says, when God gives you the assignment to bring awareness to a certain issue or whatever, don't be afraid, because God's got you. Now, I can't even hold up the Prophetic Health book either. My most recent book, the one after Play Your Ace, because I sold that one too. I didn't bring a lot of books. I'm shipping their books because, like I said, their unit paid for all of it ahead of time. Everybody who took the training, and so, but like I said, there are certain people who don't want me to bring awareness to ACEs, even though I'm getting more and more positive feedback now. God has given me favor with him and favor with man. I've always had favor with God, but recently some things God showed me the way and just blessed me and gave me some grace to have favor with men. And people are so excited and so grateful for the work I'm doing, because it's opening other doors for people, for conversations that have been swept under the rug, conversations that have been in the dark for decades, for centuries. I have people email me all the time. People tell me in person all the time. People put comments on social media all the time. People message me all the time and say, thank you for the work that you're doing. You're bringing light to something that has been hidden for years. And so one reason I said a lot of people don't like me to talk about ACEs or adverse childhood experiences, and I'm not even getting into prophetic health right now. We're talking about playing ACEs today, which prophetic health is related to that as well. But some people don't, that think they've made it, that they have, you know, the house, the car, the spouse, the 2.5 kids, the house with the yard and the picket fence and that kind of thing. They're a part of certain organizations and they do this and they do that. They don't want to talk about ACEs because they know it's a real thing. First of all, for them, and they don't want to face it. They want to act like they're over it, or it didn't happen to them because they've always come from some pedigree or whatever, when in reality they didn't. Or the fact that they realize that it's a lot of people plagued by ACEs that are being, as I say, being plagued by ACEs. There are communities where it's high poverty, high crime, high sexual, all types of things that are related to the ACE of poverty and other ACEs. And these people are in higher up positions, want to act like it don't exist, or that the people are being lazy, or that the people are just, when in reality, if you all have been following me, you know this, but I'm gonna refresh some people and just introduce to some people. In the work that I do, there's a phrase: instead of asking people what's wrong with you, the trauma-informed and trauma-responsive question to ask is, what happened to you? Why do you act this way? Why? Because something happened to you to get you in this mode. And so there are people who don't want me to talk about ACEs because it sheds light on something that they want to keep in the dark. It sheds light on many things about them, about who they are as a person, and who they are, how they interact with other people they're supposed to be feeding and leading. They're supposed to be making major decisions to benefit certain groups of people, and they don't, and they want to act like, you know, that they don't want to be shamed about it, or they don't want to be have any reproach about it, and so they don't want you to talk about. They don't want me to talk about ACES. They act like it doesn't exist at once because they want to cover up their ACES, but also they know they should be doing better with the policies and the things that they're doing for people that have been impacted by ACES. Other people don't want you to talk about ACES because they just don't want to deal with it. They don't want to. They want to act like they want to medicate their pain. I told you all before. I put a post up a couple weeks ago when God gave me this. Holy Spirit just spoke this to me so clear. And he said, and it's going to be in part 2 of the prophetic health book whenever I get to part 2, because the God has me working on so many other things. But he said this, and I shared this with a group of people recently. Okay, God said this. He said, Victoria, because I could feel in the spirit the pushback from people for the prophetic health book of doctors, and I feel it in the spirit as well as naturally. People who work in healthcare, people who sell food, different types of food, unhealthy people pushing back and saying, hating. They know that it's truth, but because of that spirit of the enemy in them that's money hungry or that's addicted or whatever, they don't want you to bring light. They don't want me to share this prophetic health message. Same thing with ACES. But I felt some pushback in the spirit, and Holy Spirit said this to me. He said, Victoria, tell the people, the doctors and the pharmacists and the people, because y'all know the name of my prophetic health book is Prophetic Health, taking your God-given health back from pharmacies, physicians, and profit seekers. Now, I'm going to throw another P in there. I got to be a pioneer to do that, because there's a lot of people hating on that. A lot of people don't want to hear that. A lot of people are addicted to stuff. A lot of people are addicted to money, and they make money through selling drugs, selling their pharmacists or their physicians or whatever. And then there's a lot of people that don't want to hear it because they don't want to stop their lifestyle of eating anything and everything, stressing, not taking care of themselves. They just want to. And that gets back to the point I said. God told me, he said, tell the people who you're feeling the pushback in the spirit and some actual physical pushback that I've seen people that I know acting differently who are physicians and that kind of stuff. God said, put a post up or share this and tell people who are selling bad food and fast food and their physicians and their pharmacies, don't worry about it, because he said 2 things, Victoria. 2 things are always going to be in high demand. Somebody's going to buy these all the time in high high quantities. He said medication, which is in the form of illegal drugs, food, clothes, sex, medication, something to numb the pain, something to take your mind off something. He said medication is always going to be in demand. He said because some people just want to feel better, okay, not be better. And then he said education. If you're selling courses, if you're a minister, not literally selling, but you are selling the gospel, you want people to realize the benefit of Christ. He said education is always going to be in demand as well, because some people, it's fewer people than the first category, but some people actually want to be better. Okay. Again, God said it's 2 reasons that people should not worry about this prophetic health message taking too much money out of their pocket. Okay. One, because it's only a remnant of people that are going to be willing to do it and be willing to have this prophetic health and live the way God called us to live. Because you got to make some sacrifices. You got to do some things with your time, your energy, and your money. Okay, you got to sow that seed so God can give the increase. But God said that's one reason people don't have to fear that they're going to go out of business at their pharmacy, or they're going to go out of business as a doctor or as the cupcake lady or whoever. Because God says 2 things will always be in demand, Victoria. Share this with people. And it should aggravate and upset some people. 2 things will always be in demand. 1 is medication, some kind of way to medicate your pain. You don't want to play the ace. You just want to act like it's not there. So you overeat, you eat the wrong stuff. You get your comfort from food. Like Oprah, your easiest and most accessible drug is food. You use prescription pills, or you go your own blood pressure pills, your own opioids, your own insulin. Okay, or you use street drugs, marijuana, crack, fentanyl, alcohol, anything like that. Or so it's food or some kind of drugs, legal or illegal, sex, shopping, staying on social media, occupying your time with other people's lives. God says 2 things will always be in demand. If you sell these, you're going to be good. Medication, something to numb people's pain, that not deal with the problem, but like a painkiller, not deal with why it's hurting, but give them a painkiller to numb it, and then they're going to need more and more of it. So medication will always be in demand. And then education. He said medication in the form of food, legal and illegal drugs, shopping, all this kind of stuff, relationships. Medication will always be in demand because most people just want to feel better. even if it's just temporary, and then you got to get your next high. That's why it's addictive, okay? So medication will always be in demand because most people just want to feel better. And he said education will always be in demand. If you're helping people to do something by teaching them something, that's going to always be in demand because some people actually want to be better. Some want to feel better, some want to be better. So a lot of people don't like me to talk about ACEs because they want to act like it doesn't exist. They're high and mighty now. They have degrees behind their name. They have houses. They own this. They own that. They're on this board. They're doing all this kind of stuff. But that itself can be an ASAP play, an adverse childhood experience you never dealt with, so it's dealing with you. They're on their third, fourth marriage. They're doing have horrible relationships with their children. They have horrible relationships with other people. They spend too much time, energy, and money trying to be somebody, trying to be noticed, trying to have, when in reality they're not in tune with the true and living God, the Creator. As I was training some people today, they don't live from their true self, but their conditioned self, who the world has made them. They are not playing ACEs. The ACEs are playing them, and so that's why a lot of people don't want me to talk about ACEs. A lot of other people don't want you to talk about ACEs because it's going to take money out of their pocket, because they want and it's going to take glory away from them. Some people, and I talk to these people all the time, or often. Let me say that. But thank God for the grace, the wisdom, the patience to talk to these people. And many times they see it my way after God shows me what to say to them. But some people don't want to talk about ACEs because they feel like they're accomplished, even though they were born with an inheritance. They're born with people to show them how to do things. They had family members and money to go to school and that kind of stuff, and mentors. But they want to act like they're not privileged, and they want to say that, oh, there's no such thing as childhood trauma affecting you in adulthood. People are just lazy. It's just, I had my tailor the other day. I had this conversation with him and where I'm from, and he's Greek. Where I'm from, your family takes care of that kind of stuff. But I said, well, what if your family is traumatized, which is true for a lot of races and classes of people. And so God gave me the grace that he's very, very cocky, has a very, very flip mouth. Not really cocky, but he's sharp, okay? And so, but I know how to deal with it because I'm kind of sharp like that too. Or in certain cases I have been and can be, but God is dealing with me on that. But God had me to have him to come around, right? Because God gave me the grace to teach, to speak. And so, many people don't want me to talk about ACEs and don't want me to talk about prophetic health and many of the other things that God, because I'm operating in the prophetic. And so the prophetic, you're speaking as the voice of God. Jesus was a prophet. Most prophets, most people are not going to necessarily agree with them. A lot of people might not like them, but this is a revelation that Apostle Joshua Selmy told me. In this kingdom, it doesn't matter who doesn't like you. It matters who likes you. If 1,000 people hate you, but the one right person likes you to get you in the gates of kings and gatekeepers, guess what? You're great, baby. Okay. And so prophets, people who operate heavy in the prophetic, because you speak stuff that's out of this world. Okay. Literally, that God has given you. Most people live from their flesh. Most people live in this world and by this world system. And so it's going to be strange. My apostle Leroy Thompson said, when the crowd, wherever way the crowd's going, God's going the other way. Okay, whatever way the crowd is going, God is leading you the other way, and that's the case. The prophetic health. Nobody wants to talk about staying away from all this foolish food that's killing people and cancer's on the uptick. As smart as we are as a people, it's still that you can't find a solution to this. The solution is, well, let me not get into that, but back to what I was saying tonight's Playing ACEs edition is about. ACEs take you places. And I'm linking it to a post I saw either earlier today or yesterday, where this person said, when God gives you a certain, he calls you or assigns you. I can't remember the words verbatim what this person said, but when God puts you on assignment to bring awareness to certain topics or certain issues or certain whatever, darkness or whatever, don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid, because God has your back. And I believe that. I know that's true for me. I know that God is my source. He's not a resource. He's the source. He's the source that governs me and supplies me. And he uses other resources like the U.S. military. Right now, the government is having me to travel to these bases and help people play ACEs, help people to deal with things that have been dealing with them. And so I'm here in beautiful Tacoma, Washington. When I took my walk a few minutes ago, I got some great, I took 2 walks today around my hotel, and I saw Mount Rainier at a great, matter of fact, when I came out of this restaurant a few minutes ago before I got on here, it was even better. I'm going to post some more pictures. I guess as the sun was going down, clouds are moving. I could see it's like more of it was being uncovered. The clouds are moving away. So it was more of the mountain. I'm going to put those videos up in a minute. I'm not going to be on here long because, like I said, I'm in another time zone, 3 hours away from Eastern. I got to get up at like 5:30 to catch my flight and everything. But nevertheless, I did have a word for you all tonight on playing ACES. ACES take you places. This is a quote directly from my book. Make sure they're good ones. You're going to go somewhere, okay? First here in your soul, and then it's going to manifest out here in your world because of ACES. They can empower you or they can imprison you. They can empower you or they can imprison you. ACES can empower you or they can imprison you. The subtitle of my book says, How to Use Social Trauma for Empowerment rather than imprisonment. Okay, ACES can take you places. Telling your story can get you in the gate, in the doors and in the gates of places, of palaces, of kings that God can say, hey, listen, I gave you a gift to the world. Yes, you went through it as a child. Yes, this happened to you. Many of you all know my acronym for book. I have the course on helping people write and publish their book in like 3 months or less. Really, you can do it in 6 weeks, but some people don't push themselves. A lot of people, or they go by what the world has taught them. But really, you don't need that much time, especially with the structure I give you in that program. But my acronym for book is BOOK, blessing others by offering your knowledge or opening your knowledge. Blessing others by offering or opening your knowledge. You've gone through something and made it through, and you have insight about it and inspiration to help people. You know something, you have a craft, you have a talent, you have a level of expertise that can help people. Everybody has something that God gave them to give to the world. And many times it's in the form of education. Yes, you have painters, and yes, you have cosmetologists, and yes, you have, but because you're a cosmetologist, there's something you can teach somebody in the form of education as well. Let me tell you this, okay? And if you didn't pick this up earlier, okay? Whatever you do, you need to have some form of education, because two things will always be in demand. If you're a barber, hairstylist, a masseuse, or masseur, makeup artist, or whatever, that's medication too for some people. Just getting their hair done, going out to eat, wearing clothes, even though stuff they might not be able to afford, some stuff, but that medicates their pain. So medication will always be in demand in some form, and then education. So if you're a barber, you can teach barbering, okay? Or if that's what it's called in the verb form. If you're a mechanic, there's something you can teach other mechanics. It doesn't have to be in a book. It can be in a course. The world we live in now is an information and education world, okay? And so ACES take you places. My ACES have taken me to a place of empowerment, and now I'm traveling the world teaching and learning. I've been doing it for a while now, but to get to this point right here that's at an unbelievable level, I'm honing in on something specific to what God gave me, and it's a high need for it. I'm just blessed. I'm blessed to be a blessing. I'm humbled by it. I love God. He loves me. He loves the people that he's sending me to. And I'm just grateful. ACES will take you places. Make sure they're good places. Make sure they're empowering places. ACES, just by the nature, can have you in dark places. Okay? When you learn to play ACES, when you're on my lives, because I have people say, I've been following your lives. I've been learning to play ACES for the last few years. I've read your books. They come when I have live stuff, seminars or whatever. By nature, ACES will have you in a dark place. But learn to play them. Learn to tap into the God on the inside of you and subdue that thing, and let the ACES empower you and not imprison you. There's a section in the book also, the Player Ace book. I talk about foes and footstools. Your enemies should be your footstools. That's what the word of God says. So use your ACES to elevate you to higher places. Footstool, not your doormat. A footstool helps you to get to like a bed or something that you couldn't get to that's higher than you. Certain places I could not have gone, but my gift made room for me. The gift that God gave me to play ACES, to overcome the adversity that I dealt with as a young person. A lot of it was kind of heavy, but nevertheless, God had me to milk it, to take the power from it, and use that power to propel me, okay? And so I'm not going to stay on here too long. Matter of fact, I'm just going to get off now, but ACES will take you places. Make sure they're good places. Make sure they're places of empowerment, empowering you and allowing you to empower others. And this is, I didn't really get on here to talk about this today, but this was a message within a message. Catch this for what it's worth. Watch the video if you need to watch it again. God said to me, and this is so true, look around. Even if you say, well, you know, yes, it's spiritual. Yes, it was prophetic, but this is plain and simple. You can look around your life, look around the world we live in, and see that two things will always be in demand. Medication, some form of numbing pain, okay, and education. Okay, dealing with the pain itself and getting rid of it. Some people just want to feel better, whereas medication is going to be in demand for them. Others of us want to be better, so that's where education comes in. Some form, and I'm not just talking about sitting in a school building, going to college. No, following good leaders in a ministry, in a church, taking self-development courses, whatever your craft is, getting better at it. Some people just want to feel better. That's why medication in many forms will always be in demand. Others of us want to actually be better. That's why education will always be in demand. So that itself was a message within itself. But that's tonight's session of playing ACES. Watch it again. It's short, sweet, concise. But like I said, you can see the sun is still up. It's 7:39 p.m. here in Tacoma, Washington. I'm on the West Coast. I'm in Pacific Standard Time. Okay, Pacific time zone. All right. And I usually do my lives in Eastern Standard Time. So instead of 9:30 tonight, I got on here about 10, a little after 10. But nevertheless, I love y'all. God loves you more. That's why he's put his words in my mouth and covered me in the shadow of his hand, that he may plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, thou art my people. God has blessed me to play ACES. He's blessed me to be a blessing. I know strategies. I know the mindsets I had to adopt to deal with these ACES and take all the power from them and use that power to empower me and empower others. Let me help you do that. Come on here Tuesday nights, 9:30 p.m. If you believe in God, you're a child of God, you're a Christian, come on here Thursday nights, 9:30 p.m. For just ministry through the Word of God. I'm still doing Them That Dream, a prophecy for African Americans. I think we're on part 3 or 4 that God has had, and it might be I don't know, it might be the last one, it might be the second to the last one, but nevertheless, I love y'all, but God loves you more. So watch this video, share it with somebody. There are some places you can go that the stripes and I was in the with military today, the stripes and the badges and things that you get, that you have from going through things that should have killed you, actually are going to get you access into those places. Okay, so ACES will take you places. Make sure they're good places, they're empowering places. Let your gift make room for you. All right, you've already been through too much to be average. That's one of my old slogans. I haven't said it in a while. You might as well use that thing, okay, instead of letting it use you. You play that ace, don't let it play you. You get it out of your hand. Win a book and win the game. Okay, I love y'all so much. Be empowered, be blessed, live every day an Imago Day. And know that it's our time. It's God's time. It's our time. It's your time to release heaven in the earth. Okay. And I'm getting more in the ministry side now, but playing ACES is ministry side as well. Okay. Using your trauma for empowerment rather than imprisonment. It's a gift and a grace of God. Do it. Be intentional about doing it, because ACES can put you and try to keep you in dark places, but that's not for you. You're supposed to milk it. Your tribulations work patience. I just saw a notification come up where my pastor just posted maybe a reel or something, or the media ministry posted a reel that tribulation worketh patience. Yes, tribulation, when you go through so many ACES, and I did a teaching on the prayer of Jabez probably a year or 2 ago, and I think that got lost when my stuff got hacked or whatever. But when you've been through so much already, okay, you're built to deal with whatever little issues might come with your business moving slower. If you've been through, and that's in the book as well, okay, you're cut from a different cloth, and so act like it. Use that for empowerment, not imprisonment. All right, I love y'all. Peace. I'll see y'all soon. Good night. Good night. Good night. See me Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll be back in my time zone, and we're gonna do the next part. I can't remember if it's part 3 or part 4 of Them That Dream, a prophecy for African Americans, a word that God's releasing in this time right now. That's gonna help you. That's gonna help you prepare. It's gonna position you. Gonna protect you. It's not a punishment prophecy. Okay, it's for preparation, protection, positioning. Okay. All right. Thank y'all for chatting, for joining in, commenting, Evangelist Royster, and those are all the comments. I saw a couple other people do like the likes and the loves. Thank you for that. Continue with that. Put the comments in. When I get off of here, I'll be able to see all the comments. But share this video or watch it again so you can get all the milk and all the meat that you need out of it. All right. Peace. I'll see y'all.